hot dan buat Can't eat grits and buat nak audio Ngodiknya let's go dan yang mikir ha dua grits.
So if any of you guys have seen my previous video on before you buy an SBD belt, I gave like my reasonings on why I went through and decided to make that purchase. But it's been a few months now and I want to talk about everything that I've experienced owning this SBD belt and if I really think I made the best purchase. So just as like a little background, I was using this flimsy RDX belt for like almost like a year and I was like never satisfied with this, 100% never satisfied. Always like never fit right, always too loose, always too thin, never thick enough. Like it was just a bad belt that like I got off Amazon when I first started going to the gym. And the SBD belt is 100% a better belt than that, like don't get me wrong. But there's some things I didn't really see anybody else talking about when I bought it, and I'm just gonna lay out all the facts so you can make your decision. And knowing everything I knew now, maybe I would have gone like a slightly different route, but here we are. And let's just get out of the way. Price right now on these, it's about like 400 Canadian dollars. That's how much I paid for after like shipping and taxes and all of that stuff, so pretty expensive. I've seen it's come down like a little bit right now, but still a really expensive belt, and I knew that going in, but thinking maybe it was a little too much, I don't know, like just something to consider. The price is now like maybe like $350-ish, $355 or something similar, but cost aside, like the main reason you buy this belt is for your bracing and for your lifts, and I can say my lifts have increased. When I was using this belt up until like the old RDX belt until maybe July, August, my deadlift was around like 515 pounds, and after like a couple months of training, like I had a deadlift PR of like 550. And that's not to say like it's all attributed to the SBD belt, but it's definitely something that needs to be considered, and I do think it will have an impact on your lifts, whether that be like 5 pounds, 10 pounds, 15, 30, like it's going to improve something. And if that's all you're interested in, like yeah, go for it, right? Buy the belt. And talking about squat, I went from about like 375 to like about 405. I do feel my brace is really good when I use this SBD belt. It's super thick. This is the 13 millimeter or whatever, 13, and it's fairly thick, right? So that actually brings me to my next point. Like it does brace, it does feel good, but it can also feel a little too tight. I usually go back and forth between like two different notches, and like I bought the right size, like it is the right size, it is fitting me, but still like it's too tight sometimes, or it's too loose, and when I wear it and it gets too tight, like I bruise on my abs, like on my abdomen, like, and I'll put up a couple photos, like it hurts, like sometimes I'm not even gonna cap, like that it hurts, like when you're like squatting and that's just tight and it rubs against your skin, like it's just like not a great feeling, I'm not gonna lie, like, and that's why they have that a little bit thinner one that came out right now. And if I was in the market for an SBD belt, like maybe that's what I would buy for the first time, because it's a little thinner and it's not as thick, so it won't hurt as bad, and that's the whole point of it. And going off on the pain thing, like also if when you're squatting, like, and if you're squatting deep, like the buckle, like right here, it's gonna dig into your thighs like huge. Like I have huge bruises on my left thigh, like just from the buckle like repeatedly hitting me every single rep, like, and I can adjust the height, like, or like turn it a little bit, like it's still gonna hit me somewhere. Like when you're squatting like deep, like you're gonna get hit using the SBD belt. And like, I'm okay with that though. Like, that being said, like, I've learned, like, just like deal with the pain almost. Like, it's not something I'm looking forward to, obviously, but having that said, I do feel like the pain that you'd feel, like, they're like minor bruises and bumps, like minor scratches, like, it's nothing like life threatening, it's like nothing too serious, right? So really, like, you have to consider and just weigh out your cons. Like, yeah, is it expensive? Yeah. Is it gonna hurt a little bit? Maybe a little bit, like hurt on your abs, hurt on your thigh, like, it's like annoyance. It's like an annoyance. It's like the pain is something that I would like to not have, obviously, but like, it doesn't really bother me too much after like the first couple times. And at the end of the day, that being said, like, the lifts are increasing and they're still increasing, and I do get a good brace. I am able to feel tight. I personally have like a setting for like my normal lifts, and then if I'm going for like a big top set or something of that nature, I'll put the belt like one notch a little tighter, so it'll only be like super tight for like those lifts. And that's really like how I'm getting around that pain. So honestly, like, if price is not an issue and pain tolerance is not an issue, like, go for it. Go for the belt, yeah. But if you're someone who like really is like sensitive about your pain tolerance, or like you're price conscious, like, maybe this belt isn't for you. There are better options that you can buy to fit your categories. And I personally like have no regrets though. I don't think it was a mistake at the end of the day, like, because my lifts go up and I'm able to deal with the pain. And if you're able to deal with the pain and you've been thinking about buying an SBD belt, like, you won't regret it, 100%. Like, you'll see your lifts and you're gonna feel good in that gym, like, 100%. And I recommend you do it. And that's all for me. Appreciate you, boys.